Welcome to the video. I'm Melissa, I write books. And I finally am feeling like I'm kind of getting into the montage part of this book. You know, in a movie, when they're like, we gotta do this thing. It's time, also I'm eating a popsicle, okay? Gotta do this thing. It's time to go. We're planning, we're revving up. And then there's a montage of the person actually doing the thing before the next thing can happen. Where they've done the planning, they've gotten everything sorted out, they've conquered like whatever hurdle they were facing with this project or task, they've kind of overcome it, and then the music hits and they're in the montage. And I think we're about to hit the montage. So I'm on chapter 3. I think we're on chapter 3 of draft 3 and 4, but okay. So how I'm doing it, I took the first 10,000 words and wrote it from the dictation that I had for my first draft. So I kind of took what I liked and wrote through it, and then I printed it off and I'm line editing on paper and also just sort of making sure that the scene has bones and that they're actually doing something actively and that the voice is really landing and hitting, essentially doing a line edit, like a pretty intense line edit on top of it. So I'm working on I've already done the writing of the first 10,000 words, and now I'm on chapter 3 of the writing. I was on chapter 2, you guys, for a literal week. I think the entire last vlog that you saw, I was literally working on chapter 2, and I was really feeling all over the place with it. It felt like the voice was wrong. It felt like it was episodic, like she just had one conversation and then another conversation, then another conversation, then another conversation, and then we're done. And it was like nothing was flowing together and it wasn't getting the voice right, and it was really a mess. I think today I got it, and I ended up threading some things earlier that helped like juxtapose a few conversations and introduce things more, and then I probably cut 10 sentences that were just like in random spots that were just there was just too many sentences, like talking about too many things, and honestly there still is, but I think it's at a good point now. And I was writing with Brielle and Andy today, and they were like, you've been on this chapter for a week, do you need some like opinions, do you need someone to read it? And so I kind of read through it again, made some tweaks, cut all those lines, and honestly cutting 10 lines made it so much more cohesive. And then they read it out loud, and it actually, when they read it out loud, I was like, okay, this chapter is good. It's actually really good in my opinion. I felt like it went from, I was reading it and it was like really bad, to now it's like, okay, I actually think this is like a really, really solid chapter. More solid than a draft 2, 3 usually is. Like honestly more solid than a draft 4 is for me sometimes. That is exciting. I'm feeling much more solid in her voice. I kind of had a revelation at the end of last vlog, so feel free to check that out if you want to see like where I'm at. But I was reading through chapter 3 and it's another doozy. I'm hoping I don't spend another week on it, but I might. But I can't, because I kind of have a deadline of by September, I'm swapping manuscripts with somebody in September, and so I need to make some more movement. Like this week, I thought I was gonna be done with these 10,000 words in like 2 days last week, and then move on. Like I really gotta hit it hard. Like I think tomorrow I want to have the goal of like a chapter a day. And honestly, should be more than that, like at least a chapter a day, because this I think goes through chapter 5. Yes. So if I do chapter 3 tomorrow, because I already did some writing today, chapter 3 tomorrow, chapter 4 Wednesday, chapter 5 Thursday. Even that, like I think I would love to be done with this print off of the first 5 chapters, like tomorrow if possible, but I'm giving the scenes what they actually need. If it takes longer, it takes longer. Like that's okay. But it is feeling like maybe I'm about to hit the montage where I go a little bit faster. Or maybe this is just my pace now. That's how it's going. Let's get into the week, shall we? Let's get into the writing. Let's go, come on. What are you doing? Let's go. It's Wednesday. I feel like I kind of feel like I'm tearing my hair out, but let's talk about the plan for today, because I don't have anything to update you on because I haven't done anything. I'm going on Brielle's channel to live stream tonight at like in like an hour, and I haven't done any writing yet today, and I need to like go into the physical chapter and like read it and like sort of figure out how I'm going to structure it, because this chapter is in Eli's point of view and it goes in like a lot of locations. There's something off about it, and I just need to like read it, but also like sort of line edit through the usable chunks and then figure out how I'm going to organize it. And I don't feel like that's a very good like live stream activity, so I think I will try to do that first, and then when we're live, I can actually just type into the document and make the changes, and then maybe I have a possibility of then getting through most of this chapter today. But again, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter if I get it done today. I just need to keep working and need to keep like really caring about the quality. I've also just had a lot of other work randomly to do this week. I mean like my work, like I had my job, but then I also have had other work come up that I needed to do, which is great and good, and we love to see it. And then also it feels like the rest of this month is like getting busy all of a sudden, and I'm like, no, we're not allowed to get busy. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at. I think I'm gonna go out to the hammock and read through the chapter and kind of look at what I want to do with it, and then come back in for the stream and see what we can get done there. So that is the plan. First, I think I'm gonna update my calendar because I just feel very disorganized. I'm also my period. And also, okay, do you guys do this thing where if I have an event, it kind of like I think towards that event. I had this bachelorette trip last week, and that was like the thing that was coming up. And so once that was over, like I realized like, oh, there's a lot of other things coming up that I just hadn't really thought about as coming up because I just didn't think about them. So now I'm like, oh, I'm traveling for work, and oh, I'm DJing a wedding, and oh, I'm out of town for a week, and like, oh, all this is happening. I'm like, like we're already in the end of July.
Bolts of lightning, pouring rain, crescent moon has taken itself far away to lay down. One more lazy dream.
I should probably like eat vegetables. You know, it's just so episodic. This whole book is just like, it's not terrible. It's just not anything. Like there's no cohesion in the scene. Like there's no like, there's a theme of this scene and we're tying thoughts together in an interesting way. It's just like, I'm watching her walk to her car. Now she's going to, and I'm like, have a thought that's original. Like, what are we doing?
She told me, baby, gonna be so lonely when I'm gone. But it isn't true. I was just as lonely with you. And I guess I always will be.
Okay, we finished the stream. It went really well, actually. Streams are such a hit or a miss. Sometimes I get a lot done, sometimes I literally do nothing. But I got through all the line edits on chapter 3, and I even started implementing some of them, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about that chapter. Like, I feel like I'm kind of getting into a rhythm of how to edit these scenes in the correct way. Like, I think it took a couple scenes to get into the, like, how do I think about the way that I edit this? I don't know. It's really hard to explain. It's very hard to explain. Instead of trying to like think about each paragraph in the order that I'm getting it, it was easier to like read the page and figure out how to reorder the information that's there and like what context I need to, like what sort of setting or placement of where we are, like physically, how do I integrate that into the scene? And so instead of like looking at the paragraph and thinking like, what's wrong with this paragraph, it's not hitting, like looking at the paragraphs as a whole and like, yes, line editing through them to make them a little snappier, but like figuring out how to snap them into the right place to like bring the sense of place back in to the actual story. And this chapter was much easier because it was really just a case of like He didn't say like, I'm in this place until much later. And it flowed so much better to like bring that to write. Like I have the hook of the chapter and then I have, this is where I am, but it's also sort of voicey and there's some like internality going on there. Interiority, whatever. I use those words interchangeably. I don't think they mean the same thing. I don't think internality is even a thing, but I like the word, so I'm gonna keep using it. Anyway, so, and I feel like it kind of snapped together better. And the rest of the chapter did have a lot of flow already in place. Like he's driving to this place and he's going to this location and he's watching. And then it was just kind of a matter of cutting quite a bit of lines and just, and so I kind of have, I'm literally doing 4 passes of each chapter in this draft. So I don't know what it's called. And I'm not worried about like, it's more of like a internal sentence rearranging structure. And I do a couple line edits if I see them. And then after that, I'll just read through and honestly cut. Like I'll cut probably a good 10 sentences, just tightening and cinching it a little bit. But honestly, chapters 1 and 2 are feeling like honestly very polished. So that's good. Like I'm gonna feel really solid bringing this to beta readers in a way that I really have not done in the past, where it's like actually really clean, voicey prose that is like well edited. I feel like my beta readers don't actually know how the writing actually sounds. My betas aren't getting the full zhuzh of the polish, and they're getting like, yes, there's some voice in there, obviously, because I write with voice, but it's not the like final honed sentences. And this time I'm like doing that. If all my beta readers are gonna be like, wow, this is like got good at writing, like what happened? I think I will maybe continue to work on this tonight. I'm feeling kind of want to. I'm gonna make some dinner, so maybe I'll do that. It's like 8 p.m. But maybe I'll do that while my dinner is in the oven or air fryer or whatever, you know what I mean. Or I'll do it tomorrow. You know, there's no times and dates and places, but I think I might try to like see what else I can get done in 15 minutes and just kind of get through it. I just have to say, before this stream, I was not feeling great. Like I don't know, just I was in my head and I was like feeling some symptoms of anxiety and I was having a little tummy ache. You know, I was just like not feeling my greatest and I was like, you know what, no, I'm gonna trust that I can do this. I'm gonna take a deep breath. I'm just gonna do it, and it might not be fun. I was like doing all this, so I was like, after the stream, I could like put on my eye mask and like watch Doctor Who and do a puzzle. Like I can just have a really relaxing night after I do this stream. Like it might not be fun. And then of course, like during the stream, that creative spark comes back and the conversations are flowing and people in chat are great. And it's like crazy how different I feel before and after and during, and like that will change within a 5-minute period. If you're feeling in a rut, if you feel like, oh, my stomach hurts and I don't want to do it, just obviously listen to your body. But if you know that your body lies to you sometimes, take a deep breath and just go for it. And honestly, sometimes like there are cases where it's like I did have to like grunt my way through a stream and I was glad I did it, but it was like, it was hard, it was rough, and then I got through it and it was fine. So it's not like a guarantee that you're gonna feel great if you just try to do it. Like it might still be hard, but it's worth it to try. It is. So I am actually feeling good about this book again. Hi, welcome to Saturday. Everything is a mess. Okay, we need to get it together, okay? You and me, we're getting it together. I feel like in the summer, there's things going on, which is obvious. I don't know why I just like haven't been doing it. Here's what I haven't been doing. Cleaning. Sue me. Haven't been cleaning. And it's like really bad. It's like, I don't even want to show you. And the thing about me is I'm just like a messy gal. I'm a messy gal, and like, it's not even that, like it's been this messy for that long. I was out of town last weekend, and so then I feel like I never really like had a moment to reset things, even though I have had plenty of time during the week to reset things. But like the laundry is so behind, I can't even explain it. And also, okay, I'm gonna actually start writing a list because there are a lot of things I need to do today. Writing is one of them. We will be writing today, obviously, because we write every day. It's not even that I need to do all laundry. I just need to do some of it. I just need to move it. It's gonna take me 10 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna try to mow the lawn. The problem is I let the lawn go for so long that now it like needs to go. I need to mow it in sections because my lawnmower like breaks down after mowing one section because the grass is so tall. So that's a different issue. I also just need to surface clean, and I mean deep clean actually, frankly. The kitchen. I need to clean up my room, which actually is not in terrible shape. And I think the laundry is a part of that. I just wish I had a laundry washing machine in my bathroom. There's like actually no room for that, but like that would be so ideal. This is besides the point. I have a laundry chute. It's not difficult. It's not difficult. I don't know why I can't get in the habit of just putting laundry down the laundry chute. I don't know why it's so hard. I don't want to hear any judgment. Office. That one is just like, I just need to pick it up and tidy it up. Is that it? No. I'm DJing a friend's wedding in a few weeks, and now is the time I really need to crank that Soulja Boy and like get prepped for that in advance. It only takes me like one day to prep, but I would do it like the day before, which was fine. Or like 2 days before. I would do it like the Thursday, and which was fine, but it just like was stressful for no reason. Like, what if I just did that prep earlier? And then like, if there were anything that came up that I had to deal with, I could just deal with it. This is so unrelated to writing. I'm so sorry. DJ prep. I also need, oh my gosh, I'm so behind. I'm so behind. Okay. But it's so funny because all these things are so doable. There's been a video, I'm like, I am so behind on my contract video work. I need to catch up and just send everything. I've been working on it throughout the week and just haven't sent anything because I wanted it all to be done before I sent it, which is dumb, which I shouldn't have done. I just should have sent it as I went. Sorry, this is so random and you don't care. Okay. I also need to film a video, which I know we're filming right now, so that seems kind of meta, but like a podcast sort of video that I actually think I want to post tomorrow, so that would be awkward. I should have time though, and I'm babysitting this afternoon. And I do need to write. Oh, do you want a writing update? But I'm gonna go to the pool tomorrow, do you hear me? Because I haven't been all week, and I just, the problem is the laundry, is that the swimsuits are in the laundry. I just need to stop being afraid of my laundry room. I don't know what it is. I'm not like actually afraid. Also someone needs to stop letting me go to the grocery store when I'm hungry, because now I'm like surrounded by Oreos. Like, why did I go to the grocery store when I was hungry? Everyone, this is where we're at in America. Oh, okay. Here's the thing about it. I really don't think it's gonna take that long. Everything looks really messy right now, but I really think like a 25-minute video, this kitchen is gonna be mostly clean. Let's see who we're gonna watch. And then I'm gonna clean just this room. And then I think once this room feels clean, but actually the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw a bunch of laundry down the chute. Here's the other thing is I need to eat a little breakfast. Like a little yogurt fruit.
And welcome to another Little Free Library video.
Taylor literally, the video just started playing. I need to watch it. Hello. I'm gonna clean the kitchen and then I'm gonna make my breakfast, okay? That's what's gonna happen and you're gonna watch it, okay? Okay? Are you ready? Are you excited? Locking in. I know you're judging. I know you're judging. It's a lot. It's a lot. Hi. Oh no. Every time I start to film from this angle, it never ends well. And this, I'm mid-writing sprint and I look really bad. So we're not gonna stay in this angle for very long. But I just felt the need. Okay, one second, I need a hat. Okay, I'm mid-writing sprint right now and I just have to share that this conversation is the worst conversation I think I've ever written in my life. It's so bad. How have I not seen how bad this conversation is? Let me just do a little dramatic reading for you because none of this is This is a date that is supposed to take place 6 months into a relationship. Are you ready? I really love you too, I say. Really? He asks, raising an eyebrow. I know what people say about me, that I'm just a playboy. Hello? I never saw you that way, I say. His past doesn't bother me. I don't find it to be a bad thing that he's had a lot of love to give out. I mean, maybe a little bit, but in a good way. I wouldn't have gone out with you if I thought you were just a player. Alyssa, were we drunk? No. Here, let me just break down for you why this exchange is so bad. Because this is like the first conversation that we're seeing this character, her boyfriend. And I'm trying to establish, like, he's a player, like, he's a rich, cool boy, like, he's a sleazebag, right? I'm also kind of working with his character because I don't want him to be so much of a sleazebag that you immediately, like, think that she's dumb. Because that's the thing about writing a relationship where one of the partners is very, like, obviously not a great person, is that it makes the other person look, like, kind of dumb, or, like, why aren't they seeing this? It at least raises the question for the reader of, like, why is the main character not seeing this? And of course, that is not to say that people who are in abusive or toxic relationships are to blame for those relationships. But when you're reading a book, it has to be done in a way where it's like, they don't, like, it shouldn't be obvious that this person is a bad person, right? And like, even this exchange of dialogue is, like, fine. But him literally saying, I know what people say about me, that I'm a playboy. Could we be more info dumpy? Could we info dump more? Like, if I want to imply this, there's a lot of ways I could do that. That is not this conversation. And honestly, this whole chapter is there's just too many sentences. Like, they're just going back and forth and saying too many things that people don't say. Even in books, they don't say. Because then he goes straight into, it's just hard to read you sometimes, which the next part of the conversation that they have, even this is terrible. Like, it's just bad. Like, he's like, it's hard to read you sometimes. How so, I ask. You always seem so happy. Alyssa, can you info dump more? Can you info dump more? But then it's kind of a slay after that, because then she says, well, because before in her head, she was like, how so, I ask? I've never gotten that before. And then he says, you always seem so happy. And then she goes, I smiled. This I have gotten before. I mean, I am happy. Why would I not be? I ask. This dish in front of me has just the right amount of butter, and there's a handsome man across the table who tells me he really loves me. I know you're generally happy, Victor says, taking the final sip of an egregiously expensive bottle of wine. Bottle of wine? Is he drinking straight from the bottle of wine? I've learned to stop looking at the drink menu. But it's hard to tell where that happiness is coming from, if it's coming from me and you. I smile, reaching across the table and taking his non-wine hand. It is. He looks unconvinced, and I run a careful finger across his palm. What? Across his palm? Oh, she took his hand. But if you took someone's hand, like, how are you rubbing the palm? Hello? Maybe your wrist? I can show you proof if you need. You've been at the top. Oh my gosh, this is so aggressive. You've been at the top of my gratitude journal for a while now. That I don't mind, but she's already said this. But then he says, I've made the gratitude journal, now it's official. Victor grins. And to make it even more official. And then he pulls out a jewelry box. So, like, I don't mind that part where he's saying, I've made the gratitude journal, now it's official. Like, I kind of like that. But do I like it enough? And then this next part I don't mind. He's like, don't worry, it's just a gift, because she thinks it's a ring. And he's like, don't worry, it's not a ring. This is just called live editing, because I've been struggling today to, like, actually sit down and do it. It's just questionable. It's just like, why? It's this conversation goes on for like 7 pages. About what? So let's keep editing. Like, I'm just saying so much. It's stunning, and from the way it shines, I can tell it's expensive. Like, why? Why are we being so basic? Okay. I just feel like I'm being too on the nose. Because then she has this whole thing where she's like, everything about Victor is expensive. If I had one complaint, it's that. Not that I have anything against money, I just sometimes worry that he's conflated happiness with it. Although I guess that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, as long as he's happy. Like, I think that that's fine. But is it too, it feels like too, like this book is about her being happy and like happiness. Like, it just feels like we're talking too much about this, and like, I just don't know. Because also then it's like she's so aware of happiness and joy. And it's like, do I want that to be like, should she be thinking about it this much? I would move this though. See, this is the thing though. If I put it in the right place, it works. Because that at this point where it is right now, it just comes after like in the middle of some interiority where she's just seeing, like he says, it's just a gift. And then she immediately goes into this like inner monologue of like, everything about Victor's so expensive. But if I put that little paragraph later in the conversation where she says, it's gorgeous. And he says, really? He asks, but the question is false. He knows he did a good job. Truly stunning, thank you. I bring it closer and admire and then she like talks about the actual jewelry. And then in her interiority, she says, I'm not going to ask if they're real or not. Knowing how much money sits on my neck sounds like a recipe for overthinking. I'll just cherish my boyfriend's generosity. If I put this, everything about Victor's expensive, if I have one complaint, it's that. If I move that later and I like just cut out some of the sentences from it, like because right now this paragraph reads, everything about Victor's expensive. If I have one complaint, it's that. Not that I have anything against money, but I sometimes worry he's conflated happiness with it. Although I guess that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, as long as he's happy. I think if I take out, if I have one complaint, it's that, then that kind of tightens it up a little bit. And it's like, everything is about Victor's expensive. Not that I have anything against money, but I sometimes worry he's conflated happiness with it. Although I guess that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, as long as he's happy. Like that, then it makes more sense as interiority and reads, I feel like, less like, I'm talking about happiness because the theme of this book is about happiness and joy. Like, I feel like that like sits a little bit cleaner in the interiority. If like, I move it to a later part of the scene, and I cut it down a little bit. Oh, hey, how's it going? It's Sunday morning. I just got back from the pool, and before that, I was at the coffee shop, and I wrote for probably around an hour and a half, I would say. Finished up that chapter I was working on yesterday. Finished it all the way, so it's done now. I'm on to chapter 4. No, 5. Now I'm on to chapter 5. Good. I'm actually hoping to do all of chapter 5 today as well. This book is proving to just like take a long time. Like, doing chapter 4 took an hour yesterday and an hour and a half today. And that's not even the first pass. Like, I already in this draft like typed it from the original and went through it twice there. And that took probably an hour and a half. So it's just, each chapter is just taking longer, which I've talked about ad nauseum, and that's just fine. I need to get to the next section soon, and so chapter 5 is the last one in that white binder of things I've printed and gone through. So after I finish chapter 5, then I'll be going back in to the first draft and typing what I like from the first draft into the new one, and then going through that again and doing that for the next section of probably, I would say, 5 or so chapters again, and then printing it off and doing this again, if that makes sense. If you're a little lost, go back a few vlogs. I think I talk about it more in detail there. But what I was realizing, I was very existential in the pool, you know, just thinking about life and all of that and writing. And I just was reminded that like the most experienced version of me is the current one, if that makes sense. And so like when I was at the coffee shop, there was a note I had made in the margin about a line, and I couldn't read it because the handwriting was bad, and I was trying to figure out like, what did I mean by this? Like, what was I saying? And then I was like, spent so much time trying to figure out what I was saying, and I was like, Actually, let me just read this paragraph and see what I think it needs. Because me 2 days ago, who wrote that comment, like, I have equal or more like knowledge and experience and writing experience, I guess, than I did 2 days ago. So like I'm as capable of coming up with that note now as I was when I originally wrote it. So I feel like that's kind of been helping me. Like I can just delete a paragraph if I think it's bad. Like I don't have to look at the paragraph and like think about like, ooh, how can I really change this to make it better? Like how can I can just at this stage delete it and write a new one better, you know? And I think it's been kind of freeing to like delete large sections that don't read right, because I'm like, it's not necessary. This is not necessary. And I'm so early on in this book too, it's like there will be more drafts of this book that if I cut too much, I'll notice it later, because I'm as capable of noticing that now as and I will be more capable of that later. I'll have a better eye later. Like I don't have to tackle every single problem right now. Like I'm tackling what I want to, and what I like I'm tackling as much as I think I can. But I'm not worried if I have to delete a paragraph. Like I actually deleted quite a bit from that chapter. That was just like a lot of info dump about her routine and her skincare and her blah 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 and just all the stuff. And I was like, and for so long while I was editing, I was like, where should I put this? Should I put it somewhere else? Should I sprinkle it in through this thing? How should I? And I'm like, actually, I can just cut it. And if I read it and I feel like I need that, then I can add it in later. And like, I will read this book so many more times before it's done that it doesn't, like, if I cut something, I don't need to like have a crisis about, does the information still come through? Like, it's a good thing to think about and like to be in my head, but I don't like, and then I don't need to like try to cling to that, you know? And then after I do that pass, like I read it through from beginning to end and edit through it one more time before I move on. And so in that pass, I can tell like, oh yeah, I did not miss that. Like I did not miss that giant info dump that broke up the flow of the conversation. Like it didn't add anything. And because I had just cut it and I kind of had that in the back of my head, I was able to like add a few one-liners threaded through organically into interiority that accomplished probably the same thing better. But just that realization of like, I don't have to cling or be like beholden to the past version of this book, because I'm more capable and like more experienced now than I was when I wrote it, you know? And I was watching Christiane Jones this morning and I was reminded of her process is that she writes a draft and then she throws it away and writes a new draft from scratch. And I used to think that that was bizarre. And now I'm like, I don't do that. Like I still use the original as a reference, but I'm much more leaning into like, I don't have to take over all of these paragraphs that don't work. Like if there's a section that's bad, I can just write it from the beginning again. And so there are large chunks of this book that I think I will be rewriting from scratch. But it's helpful for my brain to like have that older version so that I don't feel like I'm running on nothing. Like there are lines that I'm taking over and there are things. And some chapters it feels like it's a burden to have this last chapter to like look at and try to make sense of, but sometimes it's really helpful to get the nuggets from. And so, I don't know. And she also said something that really resonated, where it's like, when she's writing from scratch, she'll like think of a metaphor and be like, oh, this is great. And then she reads it and she's like, oh, I already wrote this exact same metaphor. Like if something is good, you'll keep it. And I've had this experience too, where sometimes it'll be like at the end of a page, if I'm line editing on paper and I get to the end of the page and I'm like, oh, it'd be really good to add in this line, and I'll write the line at the bottom of the page. I'll flip the page and that line, or like a very close variation, will literally be the next line. Like I already thought of that. And so it's very comforting, the idea of like good ideas will stick and you don't need to cling to the bad ones or be worried that you're not capable of coming up with good ones again, because you are more capable now than you ever have been. And like obviously there's other things to keep in mind like that can affect that, like if your mental state or your physical state is different, or if you're busy or your mind is more cluttered, or if you're, you know, like obviously there's other things to impact that. But in terms of like experience, like you are the most experienced now than you ever have been. And I did feel like I've been going so in and out with this draft. Like literally session by session, I'm like, this is terrible, I don't want to write this. And then I'm like, you know, it's actually fine. Actually, it's kind of a slight, like it just, my thoughts about it are very inconsistent, which I feel like is very normal for this draft of a book. Like I feel like every second, third, like every big dev edit is like, I don't know about this. I'm planning to write with some people this afternoon, so hopefully we'll get through chapter 5. That would be great. Chapter 5 is a doozy though. It's a doozy.
The fall is coming, I can feel it. The breeze brings goosebumps to my skin. Tonight the whiskey feels stronger. Gasoline on hidden.
Hey, time to finish up this video. I just wrote, today is Monday, I just wrote 2,700 words. I don't know. Like I've moved on to this next set of chapters now where I'm back to like typing again. So I'm taking, like I have 2 panels open, one panel is the old chapter, and then I type what I like from the new one, but also adding in. And I don't know if it's just like I had a better plan initially when I was dictating for these scenes, or if I'm just more in the flow, but that one I wrote for I did 2 35-minute sprints and then one 20-minute sprint, and got through 2,700 words, which is a lot. And most of it, I would say about half actually. Half of it came from the original chapter, and then like I would embellish and I would kind of go off and like write a paragraph and then look back and kind of use it as a reference point and then take some sentences and paragraphs, but I'm feeling really good about that. And I have started kind of framing up the next chapter. And so I'm going out of town for work on Wednesday. I kind of like to get through like the next 5 chapters in the next 2 days. Because I would, if in an ideal world, I could print off the next section of chapters before I go, and so then I can work on it there, but that might not happen. Stay tuned, that'll be the next video to see if I can get through the next 5 chapters or the next 4 chapters, because I did 1 chapter already. So, but I think I might just be getting into the meat of the chapters now, and so that's exciting. But I think I'm gonna leave you here. We covered quite a lot of ground in this video. I think it was like over a week of a vlog, so I hope you enjoyed. I hope your writing is going well. Ooh, comment down below telling me what time of day it is that you're watching. I'm curious, like what is the time right now for you? Anyway, I will see you so soon. Like if you haven't already, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll be back very soon. Okay, bye.